Welcome back, everybody. 11:30 now. 11:40 is your time on this Monday morning. And as we know, many Central Texas school districts will start the new academic year very soon. It's this month. So what do parents need to do to prepare the kids for the first day of class? Well, we asked Dr. Kevin Smith from St. David's Children's Hospital to join us on Midday to help us out. All right, Dr. Smith, what should parents know to prepare for our kiddos?
Well, thank you for having me, Jenny.
Absolutely.
It is a big time of year, going back to school. And to me, as a physician, that means a couple things. That means getting your vaccines up to date. That means sports physicals. That means making sure your child has their home medications, like an inhaler or an EpiPen set up at the school. But then there's the mental aspect. Like, what does it mean? Are they going into middle school? These are tough times.
Yeah, especially the transitional years, right? If you're going from middle school to high school or even elementary to middle school, they may have some anxieties. How can we help them? What should we tell them?
I think the first thing is to recognize it. Your child may have trouble with their sleep leading up to school. That's adjusting from summer schedule, but also anxieties. Ask them how they feel. Be open to the conversation. And if things progress from that, checking in with your pediatrician.
Yeah. Speaking of sleep, what do we need to do? I've asked my son this, like, hey, you need to start going to bed early. How can we prepare them now?
Absolutely. I think starting by taking the time they go to bed and backing that up a little bit by an hour at a time. Sometimes children have a hard time adjusting to that, and melatonin is a safe over-the-counter medication that could help with falling asleep. But you're absolutely right, starting early and doing it kind of in a stepwise approach.
Like 2 weeks before, 1 week before, what's the timeline here?
Yeah, I guess the question is how much later is your child going to bed than when they normally do?
So this should have started last week.
Yeah, so if they're going to bed, 4 hours later, then now we've got some time to work. But, maybe an hour or two, I'd say 5 to 7 days.
That's a hard conversation.
It is. It's even harder to implement, I imagine.
That's what I'm saying. It's harder to get them to say, yes, Mom,
yes.
I'll do that. All right, so vaccinations, all these kids are going to get together. Not all of them have their immune system 100%. What illnesses do we typically see around this time?
Absolutely. So there's a lot of viral illnesses that come back as we bring everyone and their germs back together.
Yay.
There's also some athletic injuries as children get back into sports when they may not have been conditioned. I think the best way to prevent that is to make sure your child gets plenty of sleep, rest, and hydration.
I always tell them to wash hands too.
Oh my
Especially
goodness.
in the locker room. Oh my goodness.
Yes, hand sanitizer is great. That being said, if there's some GI illnesses going around, hand washing is the only thing that kills it.
What sorts of illnesses can we expect though, like colds or?
Yeah, generally the same kind of viruses. Sometimes COVID and flu make a resurgence right around this time. Thankfully it's warm out, so most of the children are going to be outside a lot. Normally in the winter months, everyone's stuck inside all the time. But I think this matters a lot for families who may have a child going back to school and a young infant at home or elderly family member at home. So washing hands when getting home is a great idea.
Try not to bring those germs home. All right, Dr. Kevin Smith, thank you so much for all the advice. And we will be right back.
Thank you, Jenny.